Okay, we're live. Hi guys, we're live. Here I go. There's been this is bothering me. There have been rumors spreading about a sourcing about a company that we most resellers that are clothing resellers have used for sourcing at least once, or at least tried. And I don't know if the rumors are true or not. Could be totally true, could be not. It's whatever. But I thought I would address the issue head on because people tend to get very skeeved out by it. They tend to get creeped out by it. So if you are in the chat, just know that I'm not going to be addressing the chat. This is strictly for your education. And the reason why I feel qualified to deal with this is because I just retired from 32 years in the hospitality industry. When you start in the hotel industry, that's one of the very first things that you hear about. Very, very first things. When you sell beds for a living, that is a very big thing. So I spent 32 years in the past. In the past 32 years, I spent dealing with this sort of thing on a very, very regular basis. Because even somebody can wake up with a rash because they ate some pineapple and they always think they have bed bugs. So here's my take on bed bugs. Number one, where do they come from? Yeah, everybody's heard about the Georgia warehouse. Here's the thing. Number one, where do they come from? They don't just come from clothing. They don't come from, they don't come from beds and crack houses. They don't come from dirty, sheets. They don't just come from that. They can, sure. Some of them do. But there was a very famous lingerie seller that I'm not going to name names because, nobody wants to get sued. But they had a store on Fifth Avenue in New York, and it was a carpeted store. So any store, any retail store that's carpeted, that has a dressing room, has the potential for those. You can pick them up. They can hop in your purse while you are trying on things. Any place that's carpeted, any place where cloth meets cloth, right? So any place that your handbag meets cloth. There's Airbnb. There's also airplanes. People very easily pick those up on any airline, any time that you fly. That's carpeted, and you're automatically, even if it's not carpeted, you still got like human contact and cloth on cloth. You also have the potential to pick them up, of course, at the Goodwills, at the bins, but any retail store too that has any type of carpet in it. If they have a carpeted fitting room, yeah. If they have a non-carpeted fitting room, but they have two pieces of clothing together, yeah, you can pick it up there. So you can go to Macy's, try on some clothes with a brand new tag, and end up with that situation happening. So the question is, how do you prevent them? And the answer is, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. If you travel, if you go to a hotel, certainly many hotels have that issue at one point or another, because people are always coming in and going out. And, now most hotels have, because they deal with it more regularly than any other aspect of the travel industry, most hotels have, it's very skeevy. Most hotels actually have inspections and checks in place that they're caught very, very early. But they can hide in vents, and that's not just in hotels. They can hide in vents in any event space. They can any place where clothing meets clothing. They can hide in cracks. They hide in a chip in a wallpaper. I mean, they're teeny tiny. So you really have to know what you're looking for. And here's what you're looking for. Picture a sesame seed, but the sesame seed is dark. That's what you're looking for. Also picture little bitty, teeny tiny blood spots. Maybe you wake up in the morning and you see a teeny tiny blood spot on the sheet. 9 times out of 10, you can see those. They can live in outlets on the walls. They can live in, pretty much your shoes. They can live in anything. So anywhere where they can have contact with humans, because they live on blood. So that's what they look like. That's where they come from. The answer is they come from everywhere. You can go to, there have been some really, really high-end stores that the people like me in the hotel business found out about this were laughing so hard. We're like, hey, now it's your turn. There were people in very, very high-end stores in heavy tourist areas like New York, Las Vegas, Rodeo Drive, not joking, that ended up with that issue. And it's because, again, cloth on cloth. It's very simple. If you're open to the public and you're in a situation where cloth meets other cloth or humans meet cloth, there's a possibility of it. So the question is, as resellers, what do we do? If you look at most of the treatments for that, there are some really good over-the-counter treatments. Eco Raider is probably the number one. It's the one that most smaller hotels use. I worked for a very smaller hotel for a short while, and that's what they use. So Eco Raider is probably number one. Plus, it's safe for your pets and the whole 9 yards. But the number one thing to kill them is heat. It always has been. It's heat. So that's why we steam items whenever we get them. That's why whenever I get a ThredUp box, or whenever I get a Goodwill Blue Box, or when I get anything that I haul from the Goodwill or the Salvation Army or any of that, any time that I have a haul, the first thing I do is leave it in my car for about 2 to 3 days, because the inside of a car gets very, very, very hot, and especially in the summertime. In the wintertime, I do more steaming, but after you have left them in a very hot area that is not inside your home, after you leave them out in the car for a few days, they can live up to a year without feeding. So you really do have to get rid of them. When you bring them into your home, the very first thing that you should do is wash them in hot water. There are some things like silk that you cannot wash in hot water. You just can't. In that case, you need to put them in a dry L bag that's specifically set aside for this issue, and put that dry L bag in the dryer on the highest heat possible for a minimum of 30 minutes. And I usually go an hour. And because I worked in the hotel business, I'm used to having to do this. I had to do this to my uniforms for, the first part of my hotel career, I did all of my uniforms that way. But I also had a second half of my career where I wore suits. I wore suits that were my own suits. And this is how I treated my suits. What I would do would be not just to dry clean the suits, but also whenever I got them back from the dry cleaners, because I trust nobody, I had trust issues. I had a dry L bag that I specifically had for my uniforms that I would tuck my uniforms into and put on high heat for 45 minutes on the highest heat that my dryer could do, just to make sure. Because you can pick those things up on your shoes. You can pick them up on a train. You can pick them up on public transportation of any kind, on a bus. You can pick it up on a cab on the way to the airport, on a Lyft. You can pick it up from Uber. You can pick it up from my mom and I went shopping and we picked up some cute pants or socks from a retail store, and they were brand new with tags. It does not mean that they're not carrying something. So the bottom line is that they really are they're all over. You can catch them pretty much anywhere where people go. And the thing to remember is that they are, although they're not 100% preventable, they are able to be treated fairly easily. If you suspect that you have them in your bedroom, take a look in the cracks of the bed around the mattress. It's the number one place where hotel employees look. And this is the housekeeping and engineering will take those cracks and peel that crack back. The little ridge around the edge of the mattress, peel that ridge back and take a look underneath. Take a look at the length of it. If you see anything that looks like a burnt, if you see anything that looks like a large poppy seed or a small sesame seed that's been burnt and black, that's probably a bed bug, and you need to address it and get it taken care of. You can get your steamer. Most resellers have portable steamers. You can get your steamer after it as well. Steam heat will kill them. That's how when we would get a room treated, and you have to, from time to time, you do have to get a room treated. When you get a room treated, what we would do is, here's the hotel room. Here's the one on top, the one on bottom, the one on side, and the one on side. All of those rooms would be treated. All 5 of those rooms would be treated. They would be sealed off and heat steamed, and then those would be then they would let it go for a little while because you have to. So I just thought, there's so much misinformation out there. And again, I'm uniquely qualified to talk about this because I really did spend 32 years listening to these complaints. People would get a mosquito bite and they'd think that they would, they would have a rash. We had a lady who was like literally allergic to something, and she ate that something and admitted that she ate that something and had a rash on her chest and thought she had bed bugs. So it's just, and in the hotel business, by the way, if you're ever in the lobby and you overhear somebody say BBs, that's what they're talking about. That's a secret. That's a travel secret for you. So I would say just, use caution, obviously, but there's no really way to get around it. And especially for resellers, you just have to be careful. Just process things in. When I say process things in and sanitize them, I'm not just talking about, throwing something in the washing machine. There's a lot more to it than that. You actually do have to heat treat things, and you have to heat treat things. You have to wash them, heat treat things, sanitize them, either wash them on sanitizer or spray them with Lysol. You have to give them some time before you even put them in your closet and photograph them to sell, if it has any cloth to it whatsoever. So anyway, that's what I wanted to do. So, if you hear a rumor about somebody having something, probably 12 other companies that you source from have that too. Probably you source from Neiman Marcus and they've got that. I'm not going to say that. Oh, did I say that out loud? The thing is that you can get them from anywhere, because anywhere that's public, people go. So you can get it from, you can get it from Walmart, Amazon, and any place you can get it from. I'm dropping names that are going to get me sued. But my point is that, everybody eventually, if you have anything to do with clothing whatsoever, will run into that. If you have any soft goods that you run into, pillows, plush, anything like that, you're going to run into that eventually. You're going to have to figure out how to deal with it, and it's best if you know in advance how to handle this, how to spot them, how to prevent them, and really prevention is the very best way to do it, of course. So I wish that everybody already does this, but there's a reason why when I buy something, I don't wear it right away, not even from a retailer. I just don't, I don't wear things right away that I just get out of the box. I always treat them, because I was in a business for a very long time where you just had to do that. So I hope everybody has a great day. Sorry about this, but I just thought this is something that maybe we need to address. So anyway, everybody have a great day. Just don't forget to heat treat and steam your stuff. That's got to be, your number one thing, and do that, and you can prevent a whole lot of problems down the road. Plus, you can keep somebody from getting bit, which is nice. So yeah, the more you know. So thank you everybody who hopped in the chat. Sorry about this disgusting, gross, ew, skeevy video, but I felt like it had to be made, and we needed to address it. As resellers, we're in a position where we really need to address it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, or at least probably not enjoyed it, but at least got some good information out of it. Everybody have a great day, and I will see you tonight at 6 for an unboxing. Just know that everything's getting processed, heat processed and sanitized. Okay. Bye.